And we're back after a brief break. You're watching South Texas Now with your host, Attorney Joe Flores. It's just plain old Joe. And we are very fortunate to bring on Judge Barbara Canales, who is campaigning hard to remain your judge. And also, we're going to talk about a day in the life. I think not only would it inspire our young people to get involved, but also reminds the voter of how hard she's working for you. And welcome back.
Thank you. It's kind of like keeping up with the county judge. I always say, we're moving at a fast pace because there's so many important projects. And we like to both be in the field and in our office. We like to be on the phone, and we like to reach out and touch someone. It's the way I roll, and I think that it's a modern county judge and a modern county judge's office that we've been able to bring. Do you know, when I got there was not Wi-Fi in the public spaces?
You're kidding.
No, I'm not. And when I got there, everything was broken, infrastructure-wise. And so we were able to quickly figure out that a day in the life of the county judge involved, honestly, feeling a lot more like a general contractor, kind of receiving all of the complaints from all of the different, department heads, because things leaked and elevators didn't work and the air condition was broken and the roads were not paved well.
Sounds ghastly.
And the ADA wasn't compliant. And we had all these issues with state and federal agencies. And 4 years later, we've completely reversed that modus operandi, that MO of the county.
Before you came on, too, even the elevators were not working well.
They were terrible. The jail elevators didn't work. They didn't have modern infrastructure. And so here's a day in my world. So first of all, I'm a super early riser. Now, this was not always the case. My mom says as a teenager, I slept past noon.
Oh, you needed it.
But I guess it's my older age. I wake up super early, typically 5 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And my eyes always open at 3:30. Don't know what that is, but I wake
up in the middle of the night,
and then I
too.
close my eyes again and say, help me sleep, Lord. And then I go back to bed and wake up at 5. And then truly, I do a little bit of, I pray a little bit, in the morning. And I'm better in the morning than I am in the evening at prayer, just because it helps settle me. And I ask for a good day. And then, man, I hit the day running. Now, you have to understand, in the world of accessibility, I pride myself on saying, I'm going to answer my calls and answer my emails. So I start emailing really early in the morning. That's me trying to play catch up so I can be a very accessible county judge on the 3rd floor. We have scheduled meetings right now. A day in my life revolves around making sure that we're still recovering from all of the crisis that we have. Why? Because it costs the county money to be able to run these different emergency operations. And we want to bring all those dollars back home. Do you know, Joe, that we've spent about $10 million with our COVID crisis? And we have brought in federal funding of about $10 million. And so how proud am I that we're able to say, yes, we took care of a community, but we also weren't just about responding. We've been able to deliver on recovery. I think that is so important, that that whoever is in charge of emergency management has an equal responsibility to keep you safe and to also bring back those federal and state dollars to your community. And so I spend a lot of my day working on the recovery aspects of whether it's our winter storm or our hurricane or a pandemic. We do a general look of, tell me about what's going on in the county, in the country. How are we doing at the fairgrounds? Any action going on there? Are we working on roofs or are we working on paving? How about drainage? Are we making a effort to prioritize the projects that we need to get done? And then we will look at the coast and we'll say, how about IB McGee in Port Aransas or Padre Bailly Park office that's being renovated? How are those projects going? And so we work our way around the county as if we were driving. And my theme is always take me home country road, because I know that I'm going back to the place where I belong, which is Nueces County. And I make my way both mentally and physically sometimes. We get in the car and we go check on our seniors in Bishop and be a part of that community center. We were just at the fairgrounds yesterday acknowledging our 4-H group and all the work that our Ag Extension Service does. This is a very typical day. In the afternoon, I typically settle in again to looking at correspondence, making sure that my department heads who have asked remember the CEO is sort of an administrator, right? Mm-hmm. And so I am helping the administration of the county. I might have to approve checks or travel requests. There might be an issue regarding a grant that needs my signature, but I've got to review it. The knowledge that you need is this big, right? It's not this. It's this. And that's because a strong county judge can deliver strong results if you want to do more than. And we need to, because in order to keep our kids coming back home to their hometown, we're going to need to be a dynamic regional center for healthcare, for educational opportunities like Texas A&M and Del Mar College give us. We need to be a beautiful coastal community because that inspires a lot of people, right? You can sail here, you can fish, and you can also hunt. You've got all kinds of opportunities that these beautiful, rich resources are given to us. And how about our energy sector? You know, when I spend time making certain that those corridors are protected, that's because I know how much money and how many people rely, hardworking families, Joe, rely on that port of Corpus Christi. 1 out of every 3 jobs. Today is a great example of keeping up with the county judge. We were on our naval base today. What were we doing? We were groundbreaking with the captain of the base, the commander, and we're helping at the county replace his fire hydrants all over base. Why? We can do it more efficiently and more economically, and we can put locals to work. And we get a commission for doing that work. This is what we call the win-win-win. I usually do public appearances. Those can be anything from wishing you well in your small business all the way to having a speaking engagement. I would say out of 365 days out of the year, at least 50% of those days, I'm at a school or at a group that's invited me to sit with them to either learn or to speak about the importance of what they're doing. This morning, I was at the food bank celebrating 40 years of amazing service of providing food to the most vulnerable amongst us. My day doesn't end when I get home or even when I attend an event late at night. You see, I have a beautiful child, my youngest, who has challenges, healthcare challenges. And I sometimes do feel guilty that I don't always have the time during the day to be with her. So in the evening is our time to share about her day and what her, goals are and what her dreams are for the week. Because when you're young, your dreams are always developing. Sometimes it's just watching her paint on the patio. She's an amazing photographer, so sometimes we scroll through and look at her photos. Sometimes it's just going out to dinner and laughing or watching an old show late at night on TV. All I can tell you is that my days are rich, but not with money. Mm-hmm. With the people that I meet, with the work that we do, and I round it out the way I began. I try really hard to watch that sunrise, and I try really hard somewhere to see that sunset. And if you actually think about what matters the most to you and your family, I have to tell you, I'm just like you. I want to make sure that I go to bed happy, and I thank the good Lord for waking me up the next morning.
Well said. I really want to bring out 2 things is getting involved in the community is not just for the leaders, it's for the voters and for those young people that are thinking about getting involved. The Corpus Christi Food Bank really support. I think that it is the bedrock behind education. We don't want any children to go to sleep hungry at night. You brought out another thing is health.
Absolutely.
It's very important. I know that the Ready or Not Foundation that I'm proud to have helped out
Yes.
on another show that we did is really dedicated to your daughter, and that's how it started out.
It is.
Because she was diagnosed with a tumor.
With a brain tumor, and she's suffered her whole life since then with late-term effects. And right now, as a matter of fact, she's spearheading a program called the Holiday Card, which is basically shopping local and saving lives. For $50, you buy the card, and you get to shop local and get discounts at your favorite stores for 2 weeks. This is done all over Texas in most urban centers, benefits American Cancer Society or some pediatric cancer organization. This is a passion of ours. When you're told that your daughter is going to die and you defy the odds, she defied the odds, you know that your opportunities are to give back. You know that that is a option that you have. You can be thankful quietly, or you can be thankful loudly. And there's no wrong way to be thankful. Gratitude is not measured by others. It's how you give gratitude. But for us, for our family, we try to do it loudly. And we've helped a lot of families along the way. And she's been a treasure. And so she's an inspiration for me and for so many other young women who've taken a tragedy and turned it into a triumph. And so, yes, this is part of my life too. I love and am invigorated by personal stories, Joe, that turn everything on its head. And one of the things that I'm most proud of is that you understand the message and the meaning of public health. And that's really something that I think we share in common.
Well, I certainly want to do more shows, and I think we can educate the public together.
Yes.
But first and foremost, I want people to get out there and vote. So
yes.
I defer and to you, the last minute of our show, what would you like to tell the people out there?
So I think that all elections are the most important of our lives. Anytime that you get to celebrate being an American, you should do so by doing the ultimate civic duty, which is voting. So I would encourage everybody to do that. I would say that my race is the race that represents the highest elected county official, is one of the important ones for your backyard. I believe I have a track record of service and also proven results in so many areas, from our military bases, our veterans, educational centers, our public health facility. We are still running a city-county health district. These are some of the bedrocks of making a stronger community. But it doesn't stop there. You've also got to be savvy on economic development, a strong emergency management, and you've got to have a strong persona. Because, Joe, sometimes you find yourself with critics, and you've got to be able to stand strong. You've got to follow the law. You got to make sure that you're always standing up for what's right, even if that means you're standing alone.
Well said. And we are going to be playing this again and again here during the time to vote, not just seniors, but everybody who's affected by the county issues. All politics is local, as Tip O'Neill used to say, Speaker of the House for many years. And it affects us all. So we're out of time, but I want to thank Judge Canales for taking the time during her busy schedule to come out here.
Thank you.
And I encourage everybody to get involved in their family and locally, on the state level and nationally. But we're out of time, and again, Barbara Canales, your county judge, is here and gave you a pulse of the county and a day in the life. So we're very glad to have her and look forward to her continued presence on this show. Well, thank you all, and God bless.